fucked. Everyone's telling me this Tyler video is absolutely fucked. There it is. There the bar. I didn't even have to search it. Inside the country that banned free speech. Oh, this is a good start, innit? I wonder what his opinion is. Right.
This is the United Kingdom, where free speech is illegal.
Oh, shut the fuck up, bruv. You are delusional. Oh, you twat. You twaticus. All right, you walk out. You, Tyler, wherever you're obviously American. Walk out in the street. Go into a theater in America. Go into a movie theater and shout, "I've got a bomb." Go shout that. See Wagwan. See if you go and get yourself arrested. You're so delusional. Every country has its limitations on free speech. Tyler, go and start saying some celebrity is like a nonce. Go start saying that. Say it every day. Put it out everywhere. Put out misinformation. Say that this person's a nonce. Put fake claims, fake reports, fake text. Say that they're a nonce. And try not go get yourself arrested for fucking defamation, libel. Yeah. Like, it's so dumb. These people are so fucking dumb. I'm 3 seconds in and I'm pissed.
You're not safe from the law if you incite violence.
Hate speech is a...
How is that controversial? I'm fucking 5 seconds in and I'm pissing fuming. How is that controversial? You're not safe from the law if you incite violence. He's edited it. Oh my God, you should be safe from the law from inciting violence. It's not. You can't do that in your country, you clown.
crime. What are you being persecuted for right now?
Telling the truth and showing the public the truth. Journalism.
Telling the truth. The boy lied. Bruv, I can't watch this. But what he has done, and it's like clear as fucking day, he lied about this Syrian schoolboy. He's made a whole documentary about a Syrian schoolboy. The claim that he made on this Syrian schoolboy was that he was a bully or something. He made a whole documentary trying to pin this blame on some Syrian school kid. He's a kid, for fuck's sake, who got the video. The reason this video was even like popular, some little fucking school kid was beaten up by like a white kid. The white kid like is beating him up, blah, 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 blah. And the video goes viral because everyone's like, what the fuck are you doing to this poor little kid? And then he comes out saying, actually, he isn't a poor little kid. He threatened to do this, threatened to do this. He went out and made a documentary smearing this whole kid. This documentary then, like, the claims he made, he got sued for libel because there were lies. He was lying. He made a whole documentary shitting on a child. Like, what the fuck? Pick your damn battles. That documentary got, because it was libelous, because he was lying in the documentary, it got an injunction from the court that he couldn't play it. He couldn't put it out there because you can't just fucking lie about people. So he then goes and plays this documentary in front of an audience out front of Parliament or something like that, Whitehall, whatever. Then he goes and gets arrested. He got arrested for that. He's done this before. Contempt of court. He got arrested for filming there was these lads that fucking, they nonced about. It was disgusting. And he went out and filmed them as they're walking into court. Now, you can't do that because in England, we have contempt of court laws. If I'm to film you and you're like potentially guilty of something and you're in court, it's really important that I can't get a video of you and prejudice the trial. I can't make a video of you, post it online and let people like spread the information about this case because it could prejudice the trial. And the defense team, the people defending the nonces, they can say, well, this isn't a fair trial because Tommy Robinson has plastered their face everywhere and have prejudiced the trial. He did that. He could have collapsed a major grooming gang case. He could have done that. He could have made it so that the families, the children, etc., that were affected by these grooming gangs never saw justice. He could have done that because he was fighting for free speech. He lies all the time. This is his whole shtick.
Dead.
Antisocial behavior can put you in jail.
Arresting you. This is in relation to some comments that you've made on a Facebook page.
We do have dedicated police officers who are scouring social media. Their job is to look for this material.
Hey, you may disagree with Tommy, but come on, freedom of speech.
He's making comments on an open forum, which is social media, which is deemed to be offensive.
They don't believe it. They don't believe it.
You know what freedom of speech start with them?
I've been asked to come speak to you to make you aware that your comments are visible online.
I need to speak to you, yes. It's about comments which have been made on social media.
So there was a report about some beliefs being expressed.
Many believe these laws operate within a double standard known as two-tiered policing.
Known as two-tier. Bro, that isn't some official term. That's just a fucking propaganda term. So there's this claim. Like, he's about to say that it's two-tiered justice about who can post what on social media. I did a list, right? Let me see if I can show you this list. Muslims that have been equally in trouble for posts on social media. But, and I think this is a topic I'd love to see someone like a journalist properly look into, is due to the media bias, they don't get reported on much. So I found this by looking, I had to really trawl around the internet to find it. But journalists haven't really massively covered when Islamists have like posted extremist content online, they also get arrested for that. Right, so Muslim arrested for tweets. So I made a note, media bias warping reality. This one was in 2014. So this was mother jailed for promoting terrorism on Facebook from Luton. Big up the ends. Another one here, 2013, Lee Rigby murder. 2 appear in court on terrorism charge over video clips. Woman jailed for Twitter terrorism. So this was a lady who was like, promoting terrorism on Twitter. There's loads, there's fucking loads of them. It happens all the time, but these stories just not covered that much. Also, these stories don't get shared and reposted as much. Yeah, so if a white guy gets arrested or talked to by the police for tweeting some far-right shit and there's body cam, that video is going to be shared all over Twitter. If a Muslim gets arrested for posting like terrorist shit, that video doesn't go super viral. It just doesn't. It doesn't take off the same. So there's like this whole media perception that is being built because there is more outrage. You are more pissed off on Twitter if you see that a white mum has been arrested because she said burn down a mosque. You're more outraged by that than you are if you see Islamist supporting Hamas sharing video clips online gets arrested. That just won't go viral.
No, I've come here because of them babies who's died.
Now look at this. Look how he's trying to show him as sympathetic. Do you even know what this woman has said? What has she said? It's just because it's a woman and an old geezer. Just because you're a woman or because you're an old geezer doesn't make you exempt from the law. You can still be a piece of shit just because you're an old person or a woman. It's insane, but they show it in this sort of sympathetic light. Bruv, I'm 1 minute in and I'm pissed, and there is no way we're getting the end of this video. So usually if someone gets done for a hate speech crime, it's in conjunction with something else. It isn't just that they once tweeted something. There's either a continuous series that they're continuously doing it and they're promoting hateful content. You know what she said? I don't, but every time you ever hear the phrase arrested for tweets, go into the article and read what they tweeted.
Now I'm being arrested.
There's no two-tier policing.
Bro, I don't think I can watch this. This is such bad journalism. The Black Lives Matter protests in England were not people going out trying to attack white people and burning down churches. They weren't doing that. They broke laws, and I'm sure lots of them got arrested, but they weren't. The purpose of the Black Lives Matter protest was just that. It was a protest. Some of them would have got out of hand and some of them would have done some bad shit. But none of them were going out seeking white people and attacking them and burning down their churches. No one was doing that. How can you equate the far-right riots to this?
There is policing without fear or
This guy's a
favour.
piece of shit. You're a piece of shit. I'm sorry.
Hey, I'm a non-violent guy. Why do I have to turn off? Where's my freedom of
These
speech?
people also kind of annoy me. The Antifa, extreme left kind of people. They just don't do a good
disorder after
service.
shouting scum and child killers at police and
Their heart's
holding
in the right
this
place,
sign. Brits protesting the British government for two-tiered policing, mass migration.
I'll just
death
shut the
of free
fuck up for a little
speech,
bit.
the
Let's just accept that he's chatting a lot of shit, all right?
Islamization of England and the unfair weaponization of the legal system to imprison journalists and activists like charged with terrorism for refusing to give the police the password to his phone. In fact, you might have recently heard the name Tommy Robinson after he was blamed by the media and the British government, claiming he caused riots in Southport for video rants like these posted on Twitter.
Children being butchered and murdered.
How are you going to defend this one then, Tyler? Because this one's sticky. If you're already going to put if this is where you're putting your money.
Stop the f***ing boats. They're endangering the safety of our families.
After a 17-year-old went on a mass stabbing spree, killing 3 little girls in a dance studio. The media told the British public that the stabber
is 17, British, born in Wales and of Rwandan heritage.
The suspect has no
known links to Islam.
And in turn,
here we go. He's gonna jump on this.
Turns out, just a few days ago, they found an Al-Qaeda training manual in his computer teaching him how to build a ricin bomb.
Okay, so I'm going to guess he's never going to go any deeper on that, right? So that training manual, quote unquote, was a academic paper on analyzing Al-Qaeda terrorism. So it wasn't an ISIS, from my understanding, from what I've read into this, because it's, you know, obviously it's a damning piece of evidence. So it wasn't an Al-Qaeda training manual, which is what he's just said. It wasn't that, the thing that he had. They still, in order to call something terrorism, you have to establish the motive. Now, this is the thing, right, bruv? It could have been terrorism. It could have easily been terrorism. It could have been, he could have been a Muslim at the time. Either way, even if he was, which we still don't know, we still haven't got the evidence to say that he was a Muslim or a terrorist. We don't have that. We can't factually say that because they haven't been able to establish a motive. There isn't like things of him, I don't know, constantly looking up online like Al-Qaeda shit or Taliban shit, as far as we know. So we don't have sufficient evidence to say that it was terrorism. We don't have, like, say, I don't know, conversations with other terrorist cells. We don't have... So far from what is public, and this is the most important part, what is public information we don't have. All right, so let's say it was terrorism. So fucking what? So fucking what? You're now justified to go out and burn down mosques. It doesn't justify literally anything. Like, if it's terrorism, you still don't go out and beat up fucking brown people. Like, I don't know what the justification is. I actually, at the time, personally, I thought it was going to be terrorism because, it's a good chance it would have been. But no one knew it. And then they went out and spread lies to say that the MI6 is lying to you and they're holding the evidence, that he came off a boat. This is a big one. It was a migrant, asylum seeker off of a boat. And all of these lies, plus the terrorism thing, which was not proven, which still isn't proven, you made a load of lies that led to our country having tons of riots, attacking Muslims, burning down mosques, or trying to burn down hotels full of asylum seekers, costing our country $230 million pounds of damage based on these lies. It doesn't excuse anything, even if he was Muslim.
Knowledge.
This issue is political Islam. It's political Islam that's spreading across this country.
1,000 years of culture and history is nearly gone. You're a young English man. You should be proud of who you are.
Tyler's putting in the
Not
work
searching
to
for this.
legitimise them.
I embrace you to leave Islam. Come back, man. Our entire next generation don't know who they are. They've been beaten down so much.
Look, you know what's
so
fucking
much, made to
the
feel
craziest
ashamed of who
thing?
they are.
No, they're not, bruv. I don't feel ashamed to be a fucking white geezer. I go down, buy fish and chips. I fucking drink at the pub. I very much enjoy my classically British life. None of these people are affecting my life in any way.
The EDL. What was the impetus? What was the catalyst?
I'd grown up.
He's got worse,
the
man,
change in the town.
He didn't used to sound this insane.
Placement, and I'd seen the attack on freedom. I'd seen the two-tier policing, the two-tier justice, the two-tier everything. Where one community, the Islamic community, got treated with kid gloves, and everyone else was treated with iron fists. There were prostitution, drug.
Bruv, I'm sure if you look into the data, I'm sure. You know what's funny? Muslims make up a larger percentage of people in prison. I'm sure you can't justify this two-tier claim. I'm sure, like, if you look at the data of how police treat different minority groups, I'm sure, like, I know, for instance, I can only know this on black people, but black people are stopped and searched more than white people. The idea there's two-tier against white people is just not based in reality. It's based on what you look at on Twitter, because you see odd clips here and there that support your view. But when you look at data, you're not going to see this two-tier claim. If anything, the two-tier claim would be the other way.
Gangs prostituting young white English or black girls, and the police were doing nothing.
More specifically, Tommy is referring to the now infamous grooming gangs, where thousands of non-Muslim girls across England every year are targeted on the basis of being white, referred to as easy meat by mostly Pakistani men who would get them hooked onto drugs and then sex traffic them. He
just lied. That's a straight up lie. He just said the phrase, that are mostly... Bruv, how did they get away with this shit? He just said that they are mostly Pakistani men. The only credible data that we have is from the ONS, the Home Office. They did it. It's not the ONS. The Home Office did a study on this. There'd been a lot of bullshit reports in the past, so they went and did a full deep dive into this. They came to the conclusion that there is not enough credible data and research in order to be able to establish that Pakistani men make up a majority. What they could find is that some studies showed that there was an overrepresentation of Asian men and an overrepresentation of black men in grooming gang cases. However, the by and large majority, where he just said most were Pakistani, the by and large majority of grooming gangs are white people. However, the data is so poorly done, even coming to that conclusion is hard to actually pin on. So what you then have to refer to is data on overall paedophilia. How many people are in prison, how many people are in prison for paedophilic crimes? We have data on that because we can look at the court documents. It's very easy to do that data, where we will see that 87% of paedophiles are white men, whilst making up around about 81% of the population. 9% of the population are Asian, of Asian origin, but they are 4% of the paedophilia. They are underrepresented. So in the data that we have concrete evidence on, which is just general paedophilia, not grooming gangs. By the way, grooming gangs probably make up around about 0.4% of all CSA, of all paedophilia. So if we think about all paedophilia cases, grooming gangs, this thing we talk about fucking endlessly, is about 0.3% of all of these cases. But where we do have this data, where we know about paedophiles in prison, Asian men are underrepresented from their demographic share of the community, of the country. So he just lied. Like, if you want me to be honest, he literally just lied. He just said most of them were Pakistani. It's bullshit. They are, bruv. They are. Just look at the fucking data. The vast majority were white, 89%, whilst making up 81% of... And you can look at where this data comes from. This is literally government data. I'm just reading it off Wikipedia because it's easier to get it together. 89% of paedophiles are white, whilst making up 81% of the population. 6% were Asian. 9.3% of the population are Asian. 6% of the paedophiles were Asian. 9.6%. Either way, this is the most concrete data we have on paedophilia, and it shows the opposite of what these people are fucking claiming about grooming gangs, which, as I say, make up a tiny fraction of all paedophilia.
Cousin was a victim of these gangs. The British police didn't do anything despite knowing about the rapes, and the media would not acknowledge or report on the story out of fear that they would be called racist or Islamophobic. Tommy...
Partly true. A lot of it was to do with class, and also a lot of it, like, all the girls were working class, and there was quotes from the police saying stuff like, we just thought there were bad girls getting with bad boys. It showed they didn't give a shit about them because they saw them as chavs, basically. The other thing, what did he say? About not wanting to see as racist. Half it as well is the fact that the budgets have been massively cut for policing. So when it comes to actually dealing with these crimes, half the budgets, there's evidence, you can write in like something like austerity paedophilia, and it will show that because of cuts to budgets to policing, paedophiles are getting convicted at a lower rate than they used to be.
He was, in essence, the first person to vocally speak up against these gangs.
You're only 15-year-old girls.
He wasn't the first person to speak up about it. Fuck me. The BNP spoke up about it way before he did. The BNP are fucking racist, but they were talking about this a long time before him. And also, who else was it? The mum of one of the people that were arrested. I mean, the Daily Mail were reporting on it in about 2007. This is something, he's literally listened to what Tommy Robinson has said. Tommy Robinson has gone to him and said everything, and he hasn't fact-checked a single fucking thing. Tommy Robinson in 2011 was not the first person to speak about grooming gangs. This has been going on for time.
No, you've grown up with that have been raped or pimped. You don't. So I don't expect you to understand the issues.
These are all personal issues of yours.
Personal issues in towns and cities like mine, and they're not happening with the Sikh community. They're not happening with the Jewish community.
They are happening. They are happening in all communities. That's what the report showed. But this is 2011. There wasn't the report at this time. This was just Tommy going off his racist shit.
Happening with most Muslims.
No, they're happening within the Islamic community. That's what I'm saying, that it's an Islamic problem. And when I'm just a simple person, so I'm just a normal person.
Yeah, I'm just a simple person, you know. I can be excused for just literally lying constantly. You can excuse me for doing that.
I have to look for where this hatred's coming from. And talking about these girls like they're statistics. They're not statistics. These girls are... Well, whose daughters do you think these are? Whose sisters?
You give a shit about 0.3% of all paedophilia. Why are you not out campaigning for more funding for victims of domestic abuse? Why are you not out campaigning for more money to be pumped into helping children that need to get away from abusive families? You're not ever talking about that. You're talking about 0.3% of all paedophilia because you don't give a shit because this promotes your fucked up ideology.
Majority non-Muslim community, but when you go to the lower school, it's all Muslims.
Okay.
Yeah? It's the birth rate of the Muslim community, which is a ticking time bomb for Europe.
Why are you concerned with the Muslim community and its growth?
Go on.
Because of the jihad, the
integration,
the segregation, the hostility, the violence, the grooming, the rape.
Wow, this is such propaganda, it's wild.
The prostitution, the heroin, all of these problems, female genital mutilation, there's so many problems that come out of that community, which the government just don't deal with.
I'm really curious. All right, let's Google something. So in 2019, these people that you're scared that don't assimilate and share, your Western values, your British values, in 2019, 65% of them voted for Labour, a party that run on like pro-LGBT, a party that run on like climate change, a party that run on left-wing values. You're scared that their overly conservative values are going to change how we see the world. But why are they voting for Labour en masse? If they wanted to vote for a conservative party, they would have voted for the Conservatives. Now their vote collapsed to 36% in 2024. I don't know. Tommy will tell you that they've all just, become radicalized or something. But the reason it's collapsed is because of obviously the war in the Middle East, like the Israel-Palestine stuff. Muslims aren't in favour of supporting Israel, so that's why their vote collapsed. But up until 2019, as progressive as Jeremy Corbyn, as literally left-wing progressive as it could be, 65% of Muslims voted for him. So, and you're telling me they're going to vote for female genital mutilation? Just because they come from countries that have different values doesn't mean the people that have left those countries to come here share those exact same values. They've probably come here because they don't necessarily share those exact same values. And a lot of those values come from, typically, countries that are poorer, where radicalism thrives. Radicalism thrives in countries that are poorer. So typically, when a country gets wealthier, you do see these sort of, stuff around like age of consent, stuff around women's rights. As countries get wealthier and more equal, you see those rights tend to improve.
It's a no-go zone for non-Muslims, yeah?
It's
a
not.
whole
This has been
entire
debunked.
massive area. And it started off when I was little as a little area. Now it's just massive. This town will never be English again. Say that out loud. All the history of Luton Town, this is now an Islamic town.
And if this were a Sikh town, would you have the same problem?
Why did they go to Luton? Because immigrants go to areas they can afford to live in. Luton, which is the backstory is not given, faced massive post-industrial decline. It used to be the home to lots of factories that employed lots of people, but post the closure of many of these businesses and post the closure of Vauxhall, particularly Vauxhall in like the 2000s, Luton became poorer and poorer. And so property values come down. It becomes cheaper to live there. So immigrant groups tend to go there because they tend to come into the country with less money. So they move to a country like that. It's also a really good town in terms of it's very close to London, so they can commute in and out. They go to poorer towns. They didn't just go to Luton because they wanted to make a caliphate or something. They went there because it's poorer. So if you have a problem with poverty, if you want to help poverty, bruv, fucking talk to me. I'm your guy. I'm very, very much on that. But you don't. You seem to think that they come here because they hate us or something. Why? It's just insane.
I wouldn't have a problem, no.
Tell me why.
No, because the Sikh community integrate, assimilate, and they work very hard. There's no dominating gangs. They're not attacking our culture. In fact, they integrate.
I'm sure there are Sikh gangs. I'm sure. What about what are they called? The Tootie Nangs. Weren't they Sikhs? Tootie Nangs? I'm sure these were Sikhs. There's gangs of all. I bet you Sikh is I reckon they're probably a way smaller percentage, but you will still have gangs. If you have more Muslims, you're going to have more gangs that are Muslim. If you have more white people, you're going to have more gangs that are white. If Sikhs are a tiny percentage of the population, obviously the representation in gang culture is going to be smaller.
And they become British. And unfortunately, that's not every Muslim, of course. Look, I'm not saying every Muslim is a problem, but I'm saying per se.
No, you're just saying pretty much they are. And the people that listen to me are not going to make this distinction. They're probably going to assume that all Muslims are bad.
Community, there's no integration, assimilation, there's big problems. Straight on, bro, just pull up straight on that road and we'll get out of the car there, yeah? On the double yellows.
Okay. And is Luton ruled by Sharia law right now?
The Islamic community, the Islamic areas, yeah. That's
Fuck, he doesn't, bro. Like, this is such shit journalism. He just says the most insane question on earth. Is it ruled by Sharia law? No. Bruv, if you break a law that is a British law, you will go to jail. If you break a Sharia law, you will not be going to jail. So tell me, what the fuck are you talking about? Are there probably these community courts that deal with local community problems under what is taught in the Quran? Probably. But does it trump British law? No, you clown.
Their area is ruled by Sharia law.
Are we at risk coming in here with you, given who you are?
We are at risk, but it's 10:30 in the morning and a lot of them don't get out of bed.
So we made our way.
A lot of them don't
into
get out of bed,
Luton.
right? So they don't get out of bed because they're lazy, but they also are taking our jobs. Bruv, Muslims, so stupid. Go to these areas he's talking about. Go to Bury Park. These people work like dogs sometimes. I see they're always setting up businesses. They're always out fucking working. And like, usually that's the complaint, is that areas they change because all the shops start changing, they start having different languages and that. That's mainly the complaint. So he's saying they don't get out of bed till 10 a.m. And he's trying to act like he's not mad at all Muslims. He's just made a sweeping generalization that they're all lazy. And he's not mad at all Muslims. This is why we call him a racist.
As I said, the more Islam, the less freedom.
Okay, so are you Islamophobic?
There's no such thing as Islamophobia.
Oh, here we go.
A phobia is an irrational fear.
Here we go. He's said this sentence 5 billion times. I reckon he sits there in the mirror and comes up with these counter arguments because I know exactly what he's going to say. He said this shit 1,000,000 times. This is an irrational fear, but being scared of a religion that wants to kill you is a rational fear. He'll say some shit like that.
All the things I talk about, when you pick up the Quran, there's 100 verses in the Quran which incite violence against non-Muslims. There's 4 verses in the Quran that say that Muslims can take non-Muslim women as sexual slaves. Actually, one of those verses say they're blameless. Now, when we see the statistics that we have in the UK, Muslims make up 5% of the UK population. They're responsible for 90% of the convictions of groups of men that young kids. Why?
This has been debunked, bruv. No, you cannot do this, Tyler. Fuck you, bruv. You didn't even look into this claim. This claim is the foundation, the Quilliam Foundation that made this report have been shut down. The data that was that 84% statistic, the Quilliam Foundation did not even give you where they got that data from. They did not even give you a source. If you know a single thing, I don't understand how to do academic research, but if you don't cite where your data comes from and no one else can replicate that data, then you are absolutely lying. It's pseudoscience. You cannot call it real fucking information. So he has not even fact-checked this report. This report is so deeply debunked. People who believe in what he's saying shouldn't even be quoting this. They know this is debunked. What they said in the data is, they literally said something like, we used advanced data mining technology, which was literally, trust me, bro. We got this. They didn't give you any, bro, it was literally, trust me, bro.
Blameless. Now, when we see the statistics that we have in the UK, Muslims make up 5% of the UK population. They're responsible for 90% of the convictions of groups of men that young kids. Why?
Oh, it's outrageous. He's just fucking showing this Quilliam report. This Quilliam report is so debunked at this point.
Why isn't it Sikhs? Why aren't the Jews doing that? Why aren't the Hindus doing that? Why is it the Islamic community? 30% of the men convicted of gang rape of children are called Muhammad. Islam promotes it.
You think Islam promotes it or extremist Islam?
Muhammad. Was Muhammad an extremist?
So you see his answer there? Tyler tried to give him an out to say it's not all Muslims, it's not all Islam. But he can't even do that because he thinks it is all Muslims. He thinks it is all. So he couldn't even say it.
Muhammad beheaded 600 people in one day. Muhammad women. Muhammad married a 6-year-old when she was 9. When people say about extremism or Islam, there is only Islam. There's not extremist Islam, moderate Islam, there's Islam. This is my country, it's our country. Let's stop pretending that we have welcomed guests into our nation, have now overstayed their welcome. They're changing this country. They're not here to integrate, they're here to dominate. And
It's insane. Oh yeah, let's just reference the fact that Muslims voted 65% for Labour in 2019.
Hello.
I'm all right, man. How are you?
Oh, there we go.
How you doing?
The purpose of this shop is to convert the town to Islam.
Okay.
Imagine walking into this place and doing it. What a fucking knob. A nobulous.
Right, that's right.
It's for dawah, yeah.
To convert to dawah.
Not to convert, to invite.
This was funded by Ira, Abdul Rahim Green, the people behind the centre, are radicals who believe in punishment for adultery, all these sorts of things.
What are your thoughts on that?
No, it's not true.
That is 100% true.
Look, bro's just fucking working the tills, bruv. He's not come here for a debate. You've walked in with your fucking 20 years of fine-tuned rhetorical arguments. He's just doing the fucking tills, bruv. You've got, like, this is how he makes his point. He goes up to people that aren't versed in these arguments. Like, bro's just found a religion that makes him feel good. And now he's got to fucking defend it against what one guy believes and... Was
you when this centre opened and the council opened it, I looked into everyone behind it and I done an expose, and the manager had to resign before the day it opened.
Well, I don't know too much. I've only been working here like a few months, to be fair.
Innit?
Okay. When did you convert, bro?
Me, a year ago.
In jail.
A year ago?
Yeah.
How do you like Islam thus far?
It's peace. It's peaceful. Like, it makes me feel like I can show the world the true me. And it's the true religion, really.
Can we get the Quran? Have you got the Quran? Can I touch it?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, God, what a dick.
Yeah, of course you can.
You sure, yeah?
Why couldn't you touch it?
Because I'm not clean.
I see.
If you can look at verse 65.
Bruv, you just do this to the Old Testament of the Bible. If you really want to be a fucking dick, do that if you want to. You can do the exact same arguments about the Old Testament of the Bible. You have to take it on individuals and how they behave.
So this, as for such of your women as despair of menstruation, if you're in doubt, their period of waiting...
Tommy, can you do this to the Old Testament? Can you do it? Yes, of course you can. You're not allowed to eat pork. You're not allowed to eat shellfish.
Prepubescent children.
I'm still doing my research myself.
I'm still doing it. Okay, so if you're new, I don't want. I'm not here to.
Yeah, sorry. I guess we.
Oh, you're not here to make him awkward. Ah, mad.
What? My problem. So not to put you in an awkward position.
Oh yeah, I don't want to put you in an awkward position, mate.
My problem is that verse talks about divorcing prepubescent children. That's what that verse is about. Yeah. So Muhammad married Aisha when she was how old?
Yeah, I'm not trying to put you in an awkward position, but how old was Aisha when you married Muhammad? Bruv, you have to take, if you're religious, in my opinion, if you're religious in this era where we have science and we understand, like, you know, some things are not possible, you have to take religious documents not as like fact, but more as a message and a story that has been passed down, that transcends history. I don't believe that Jesus walked on water. You could do the same arguments, like, mate, well, you believe that Jesus walked on water. You think a man walked on water. Like, you can do this. It's how we interpret religions now and what it means to our lives now. There will be some literalist and people that believe every single fucking phrase is 100% blah, blah, blah. And maybe this guy does, but probably in effect in his life, he's not living those bits. He probably takes the message that is good for him and uses that. That's kind of what religion is now. But these are like literalists. There are literalists, you know. And like a lot of people, you know, when they're in religions, they kind of have to say that they believe that Muhammad was 100% perfect, and they have to say that Jesus was 100% God, or, you know, 100% he did all the things in the Bible, rather, all the miracles. You have to say that. But at the end of the day, what religion is meant to teach you and what it's meant to do in your life is your actions, your behaviors, your feelings. I'm not going to say that Tommy is coming across as a very nice Christian right now. He's not really a kind, compassionate figure of Jesus right now. This lad seems all right. He seems nice. Tommy, Christianity doesn't seem to be helping you much.
Kings of England, they married
Richard
younger.
Lionheart had an 11-year-old wife.
Yeah.
But we don't think Richard Lionheart's perfect. We don't want to build this whole country based on what Richard Lionheart lived his life as, whereas you want this country to be on what Muhammad lived, yeah?
Me, like I said, I'm still new in it. I'm still new to Islam, like, so...
My point was that this...
A little bit, but obviously I'm still learning. I'm still learning.
Student.
So you're a student, but you're not allowed to leave Islam now.
What would happen if you left?
Oh, fucking hell, bro.
What would happen if you left Islam?
This is horrible what they're doing to this young lad.
So Muslims should be free to convert to Christianity.
Tommy is an RRL Discord troll. That is what he is. I don't want to make it awkward, though, mate.
A lot of them are, to be fair.
Should they be free to convert to Christianity?
If that's what they want to do, yeah, of course.
So Muhammad says they have to be killed.
He's found some happiness. He's found something. He's found something that makes him feel good. That's helped him understand life. Makes him feel good. He's looking at you like, bruv, I do not want to fucking be like you for a second. Whatever you've got to teach, I don't want to fucking hear it.
Back to our side and enjoy your freedom. Put you in, and
I made the choice to come to Islam.
But so if you don't think that was heavenly like Allah has sent...
Lads, I've got to go. It's been a really good stream. Me and my wife here got a nice little date night lined up.